Why is Beverly Hills so damn expensive? Personally, I have never asked the question because where I particularly sell real estate out of is in an area called the South Bay. It is a very, very polar opposite area, if you will, of what is considered the West Side, where things are kind of like fast paced, considering that there is always tourism and there's always people out shopping because everyone has so much damn money. Where I am, it's more of a working class, self-employed, a small business. This is where we live, where the schools are amazing and the food is good and we have access to everything that you could possibly imagine that is also available on the West Side. So I don't understand. We typically, over here at least, we don't have $100 million sales or $80 million sales. Like when we see records being broken here, they're usually in the $10 to $20 million range. And this is from places like Palos Verdes to Manhattan Beach. And that's about it. That's the highest mark of real estate here. Why is a place like Beverly Hills so expensive? So today we're going to cover just that question. I've been looking at a few different places for some clients that I have that are looking for homes right now in Beverly Hills. And along that way of looking at these different properties, just trying to find something, I started seeing like a correlation, between what is called the flats of Beverly Hills, which is, probably one of the premier areas of Beverly Hills. It was one of the more well-established areas of Beverly Hills, because the land particularly is kind of flat. And it was also close to the Beverly Hills Speedway or the Los Angeles Speedway, whoever you are, you say something different, but it was close to the Speedway. So the flats of Beverly Hills became a very well established area early on. And then once you ran out of space, you started to go north of Sunset. Now, north of Sunset right now is the more valuable area between the flats and going right into Beverly Hills. Now, as far as why it's so expensive, okay, I'm gonna give you guys the answer why it's so expensive before we start looking at these properties. The reason why it's so expensive is because of the establishment in perception, okay? I'll get into more boring stuff if you stay, towards the end of the video. We're gonna look at some beautiful houses, by the way. It's just the perception in the development of the area. And, going back to that speedway, that is something that rich people, it was like a pastime. It was like golf early on. It was something that the elite of the elite would participate in. So being able to be by the speedway, which, you probably wouldn't want to be by now, just like you're not necessarily going out of your way to move by crypto arena or, something like that. At that point, you would want to be closer because it's you're surrounding yourself with elite people and doing elitist type of things. And then you had Hollywood come along. And what better place to stay than the most established area, which was Beverly Hills. So over time, the perception and the desire and the demand for the area grew and expanded. Now, this particular area, the flats, like I mentioned, it's very close to Rodeo. It's close to the hospital, Cedars-Sinai, where some of the best doctors are currently located. You have all of this convenience, the Michelin star restaurants, the amazing Beverly Hills hotels. You have everything at your fingertips. We're talking about 5 to 10 literal minutes from everything except the beach. Now the beach, you're gonna have to take a nice long drive to the beach. And right now, to get to the beach from Beverly Hills could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what time of day you are actually trying to get to the beach and what beach you're trying to get to. If you're trying to say, let's get to Malibu, I know some people who are not from LA, they think probably Beverly Hills and Malibu is like super close. Wrong. Beverly Hills and Malibu are not that close at all. In fact, it could take an hour to an hour and a half to get to Malibu, depending again on what time of day it is. But it's not super close, which is the point. Considering that Beverly Hills is not by the beach, why is it so expensive? When you think of LA, especially when people visit, they want to see the Pacific Ocean. They want to see the beach. So why is this more expensive than, let's say, Santa Monica, which is obviously very touristy? Now, of course, you have places like Malibu, which has equal playing field in terms of, price and values, especially when you get further into, the less touristy areas where the beaches kind of become, private, or at least the people that would show up to those beaches are going to be locals. They are not going to be people who are just trying to go to the beach. People are just trying to go to the beach for whatever reason, especially if you're visiting. They're going to go to Venice and Santa Monica. For some reason, these are the only beaches that everybody knows. With me looking at these different properties, I started seeing, just north of Sunset, 80 million. Then I've seen something, in the flats, 40 million. We're going to look at several, well, maybe not several. Several might be a bit of a stretch, but we're going to look at quite a few different properties. We're going to look at some properties that are undeveloped. We're going to look at some properties that are just massive and amazing. We're going to look at a lot of different stuff. And I'll say this, okay? Because none of these places actually have like walkthrough videos or just like a true video in general. Maybe one of them does. Maybe I think only one property that we'll be looking at has a true video. I will not be grading these properties today. Instead, because it's the Olympics and in honor of the Olympics, what I'll do is, out of the properties that we do see, I'll give a gold medal, a silver medal, and a bronze medal. And then, maybe an honorable mention. But these places are amazing, to say the least. I think actually all of them are pretty amazing. But, that is my perception of what I see. But you are more than free to leave a comment, say what you like or what you don't like. That's what you're entitled to. So we're going to check these places out and maybe elaborate just a little further as to why Beverly Hills is so damn expensive. So our first stop in Beverly Hills takes us to a place known as Trousdale Estates. Now, one very interesting fact about Trousdale Estates is when it comes to new development, you are not allowed to build up. You can build down, but you can't build up. So you can't have a two-story home, a traditional two-story home. You can only have a single story or split level that goes down. So, it's one of the very unique things that are a part of Trousdale Estate that are in the hill. Now, from what I know, at least, is that there are maybe one or two exceptions in all of Trousdale that were two stories before the restrictions took place. So those are like very, very unique properties. But for everyone else, today, if you want to build a new home, you can't build up. So we're going to check out this place. Honestly, we're looking obviously at the listing first because this actually sold off market. I have no idea what the inside of the home looks like. All I have are these renderings that were developed or put together from the original listing from 2016 when they were, selling it for, what is it? I think 36 million or something like that. And then I guess the billionaire just decided to develop the property, ends up selling it to another billionaire for, about 85 million. And there you have it. So the place is, of course, developed, because who would pay $85 million for a project in Trousdale Estates? I think this is one of the higher sales in Trousdale Estates, if I'm not mistaken. But as you can see, the house did end up getting built, and this is actually like a really nice home. You have a nice atrium here, so your entryway atrium to your left off of the entrance. There's might be some decent feng shui here, depending on if there's like a wall that blocks off, seeing the direct outside, right? Seeing directly outside. So who knows? But this is kind of cool right here. I wonder what professional tennis player actually lived next door if they don't currently live next door. Who do you think lives there? Because this is a regulation professional size tennis court. Like, look at this. Professional tennis, like this is like professional regulation. Like, this is insane. We're also going to look at this place next door that's like, when you guys see it, you're going to be like, wow, someone built that. So we're going to check that out. But I did want to look at these renderings, just to kind of show you guys that sometimes this is what you see when people are trying to sell multi-million-dollar homes. All you get is renderings because the house that's actually there is, it needs to be torn down. So we're going to look at renderings for what was a tear down. They did tear it down. They, built a massive, beautiful house, a single-story house. Oh, as you can see right here, it is a split level, like I mentioned, because you can't build up. You can build down, but you can't build up. So they did do split level with the design. So you can get more. That's how you can get the maximum square footage. Obviously, you want to get as much square footage as you can, which is typically why you would build a multi-level house. A 2-story house or 3-story house, so you could get more. Wow, that view. Like, you guys see this view here? That's I love city views. Me personally, I love city and mountain views, but of course my favorite view is the ocean. My favorite view is ocean, but having every view is what you want. You desire to have every view. So this is a nice pool. It even has this is a hot tub here, I would believe, water feature, and so yeah, the garage is also part of the split level or downward build. So this is cool. City views right there. I love it. So these are just renderings. It's nothing in particularly going to be, in depth or special, because these are just photos of renderings. I wish I could give you something more, but I can't. So we have renderings from what it looks like at the daytime, what it looks like at the nighttime. I wonder what the view looks like at the daytime. There it is. Wow, I like this. I can't lie, I like this. So the views are great. Like, you got the Buddha here for the Zen. So it could be like an area for yoga. So again, from what we've seen, this was not what was built on the property, which the land was a little over an acre. How much of that was buildable? It's probably going to be maybe 2/3 of it. From the looks of it, it looks like it was more than 2/3. It looks like more than 2/3 of the land was buildable. So it's actually really, really good size. And because of the size, you get the privacy, which is extremely important in Beverly Hills. Actually, for anywhere in the Platinum Triangle, to be honest with you, a lot of places on the west side that's kind of like really, really important because obviously a lot of high profile individuals, you know, celebrities, multimillionaires, or whatever, all live in these areas. Now, for the place next door, which, I mean, this looks like it was prefabricated in a factory. All the exposed concrete and kind of like the steel accents, you know, it just gives these like factory like vibes. Now, again, these are just photos because we don't have like a walkthrough video of this place. If I'm not mistaken, it's on sale right now for a massive grand total of $68 million, or it's somewhere around that. I'm like sure of it. If the place next door sold for 85, you kind of gotta go up. You know, you kind of gotta be with somewhere within that. But just looking at this kitchen, it just looks like a professional grade steel kitchen, solely what you would find in like a high-end restaurant. Stainless steel everywhere. You know, what is this? A cutting block for a counter in the island. I mean, this is like it's just professional grade kitchen. That has to be the kitchen that things get prepped in. Oh, nope, never mind. Just looking at the rest of this stuff, that was the actual kitchen. Look at this tub. This looks like a cold plunge. I mean, actually, this might just be a cold plunge. Just all the steel here is just wow. Even the table. That's a fitting picture right there. Like this picture of the jet, where it's just like this feels like parts of a jet were used to make this house. All the steel and you know, the concrete. It just, the bar, oh my God. This is a very, very particular house. There's a factory in the house. There's a factory in there. Wow, it almost looks like it should be a bunker. This kind of looks like some like the Pentagon almost, right? Like this Pentagon, like this is a fortress. This is a friggin' fortress. And talk about privacy. You got hedges to block off everything, right? This is insane. Holy moly. Okay, so now taking a little bit of a quick, deeper look into this property. 18,000 square feet, 5 beds, 10 baths, made of steel and concrete. Like, not an ounce. I didn't think we seen like an ounce, a speckle of any sort of marble or like anything. We didn't see any of that. Like no stone at all. No kind of stone. Just concrete and steel, baby. Like something happens, I'm not gonna lie to you. You buy a place like this, you just gotta feel safe. You gotta feel like something could crash. We're talking about a meteorite. We're talking about whatever. Like the world could be prepared to come to an end. It's Armageddon. And you just feel at peace and safety. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if all the windows you could shut, the shutters are just still shutters. Like they're nothing else but still shutters. As in the windows can break, even though the windows are probably bulletproof or something like that. Cause this is a freaking fortress. Like, this is insane. So yeah, this I mean, this is an overly masculine place, obviously. This is an overly masculine place. It's built like a military base. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to describe this. Look at this view, is amazing. But yeah, I don't really know how to describe this. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Obviously, they have like this fireplace that kind of looks like, you know, it's got like under an engine hood or, you know, a steel mill. right? Something you find in a steel mill and you're melting metals and, you know, just craziness, right? But yes, this is overly masculine. There is no way to have a feminine touch come in here. I mean, it's definitely with all the concrete and steel, it was not cheap to build this. Like, this was an expensive build because concrete and steel is very expensive, like overly expensive. So nothing is cheap about this place. Yeah, this bar set up here is just, I don't know, like you have your fireplace engine right there. But this is 100% a commercial grade kitchen. Like, you have a microwave here, even though you have a microwave down here. Like, this is professional grade. Like, a Michelin star chef comes and preps your food every night. Like, there's nothing for you to do. And then you have what's the primary here, and you know, it's just, yeah, I don't really know what to make of this. It's like, this is clearly unique. This is clearly unique. This is a one of one. I really hope nobody would build this again. Like, I really, like, this just needs to stay one of one. This needs to just stay piece unique. This needs to just be a unique house. I really hope nobody builds anything like this ever again, because I don't know, it's just so unique that it just needs to be this one. Like, it just needs to be this one Pentagon fortress of a house that if a nuclear bomb gets set off, you're set. I'm sure, when I say I'm sure there's a bunker in this house. I'm sure of it. We may not see it in the pictures or anything. It's there. 18,000 square feet, it's there. It's there. The way this place is built, it's built to be the last thing standing. Like, this was built to be the last thing standing. I believe it will be the last thing standing. Like, you can hide in there. Like, something happens, I'm going to this house. I'm going to this house. I swear before my right hand up to the sky. I mean, my left hand up to the sky. I can't even think straight right now. Left hand up to the sky. If something happens, I'm going to this house. I will get in this house. I'm going to make friends. Whoever buys this place, whoever owns this place, I'm going to make friends with them. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be safe. I will be your friend. I will pick up your laundry. I will bring you whatever you need. I'll be the guy. Because when something happens, I like to know I got a place to go for me and my family, and we can survive the apocalypse. Okay? I'm going to this house. So this next place that we're going to look at is just north of Sunset on Alpine, of course. This is a house that's undeveloped, which is kind of why we started off with the first house on Trousdale Place, which was, looking at the renderings and things like that. Well, this is the house currently on Alpine. And as you can see, you're going to get amazing views. It looks like you're going to get some ocean views there too. Some mountain views. Yeah, there's ocean views there. Like, these views are incredible. Those are incredible views. So this is the current house that's there. This is what's considered the teardown. This is what's considered a teardown. And I mean, they're trying to move this. And as you can see, this is the house that's there now is a massive house. Again, as far as, when it comes to building these properties, you have to take in account to restrictions. Now, considering that this is not Trousdale Estates, you can build up. So the next thing we're going to look at are the renderings. for what you would build or what you could build if you accept the architectural plan that this has. So this is really nice to have a renderings video, like a true video of what things will be like. And I know this costs a lot of money to do. Just to like have this as a video costs a lot more than going to go film a property that already exists. But just looking at it, this design, look, you have a nice big pivot door and floor to ceiling glass for what looks like could be, you know, 30 foot ceilings. Incredible views. Wow, I like that setup there. Like just the setup where you have the greenery, and you know, you can appreciate this and the actual views that you'll get from this place. And this looks like a bar or something like that, I would assume or presume. But yeah, this is nice. So that's your ocean view. It is really nice. You have that ocean view from the pool. As you can see, that's what you would like. You want all views. You want city, you want mountain, but you definitely want ocean views. And this is the primary. Wow, this is going to be a nice large primary, the primary bathroom here, and you have multiple rooms that also obtain the view as well. This kind of, I don't know. Now just looking at this design, I mean, I understand that you want to have some like greenery and stuff like that in the middle, but this kind of feels like disjointed, almost like an apartment or something like that, where you come walk out and have these like shared balcony areas and whatnot. But you would come walk up here, and for me, for example, I guess this is where an atrium is, because you can see through their window here. The tree is all the way at the bottom. Okay, so the tree's all the way at the bottom. As much as I love greenery and stuff like that, I feel like the atrium shouldn't be here in between, two sides of the house where it's essentially rooms. I think that's a waste of space. I think, like you're losing square footage. You can have the atrium somewhere else that makes a little more sense, or at least for me. Honestly, you can even put the atrium here if you want it, but I would have the atrium, somewhere closer in the middle of the house. I mean, yeah, here would honestly work. To be fair with you, here would honestly work, especially since you have the dining room right here. But it's just more personal preference. The design itself doesn't look bad. I don't know if these will actually be separate or together with the property. Like you could walk across, but from looking at here, you would walk in like what's in hallway right here to get to the other rooms. But what I do like is this little setup right here, the cabana. That's really nice. That's a nice thing right there. That's kind of like off to its own side. I would personally, make that like the massage area. Get some massage tables out there. That's a perfect place to have a masseuse come over and take care of you guys. Well, look, there's an atrium already in here, so I don't understand why there needed to be two atriums, or like that's no. And then here's another one here. So I don't know. Overall, this design does work. Like, I like the tones, I like the colors. I definitely like the colors. Again, I like that cabana. What is this? Either this has got to be like the pool house or something. No, not the pool house. An ADU. Either it's an ADU or it's like a garage. I don't know. I can't really tell from this angle. But this is a really cool video. So, if you would like a property that is currently not developed, okay, currently not developed, but has the potential to be $100 million plus property, well, 1005 Alpine is the place for you. I mean, just looking at it, 65 million, you're getting, a 300 square foot house, but it's on, just over 1 hectare, right? 1 hectare, which If you know, I like to use the term hectare now because you know it sounds fancy, but yeah, a hectare is just, you know, a little over 2.47, you know, of an acre. So this is 2.66 acres. So 2 2/3 acre is what you're getting. Now again, going back to what's buildable, what's not buildable, not 100% sure what's buildable and what's not buildable. Obviously, that's something that you would have to investigate and figure out yourself. It's not in the description of what's buildable and what's not buildable, but this has been, you know, an ongoing sell for some time that a developer has not snagged quite yet. This, you know, to buy something like this, you have to understand that if you're going to develop it, it's going to take multiple years to develop, and you're going to target you're going to target a billionaire, because that's who's going to be able to pay you 120 million, 130 million, whatever it is you end up asking for after you build the property. That's your audience. Your audience is Jeff Bezos. I can't say Elon Musk because Elon Musk is, and well, I won't say he's becoming a miser, but when it comes to like real estate and stuff like that, he's not really interested in having like these oversized houses like that. He offloaded a bunch of houses like not that long ago. Like he just was over it. So yeah, this is definitely something where you understand that, you know, you're not looking at what is a centimillionaire or something. You know what, I gotta brush up on my terms, but people would, you know, 100 million, 200, you know, 300 million. Those are people that you would work with that are going to buy 30 million, 40 million, maybe even $50 million places, and it's fine. They're not trying to spend 100 million, you know, obviously they're not going to spend 100 million cash, but the point is they're not trying to spend over 100 million and have a place for that purpose. So yeah, you're looking for someone who's going to buy it and keep it for a long time. That's essentially just going to be someone who is a billionaire, who, whether they make money on selling it again or not, won't really bother them because they have a property that they enjoy. So now what we have is another property on Alpine that's actually already developed. House has already been built. $68 million. That's right. $68 million for something that's already been built. Now the lot is smaller. Okay. Let's be clear. The lot is smaller. One of the key driving factors, you know, between the flats and even north of the flats, or anywhere in Beverly Hills for that matter, is the more land you have, the more control of privacy you have, which is a huge factor in price. Huge factor in price. Which is why you can have this place that's clearly a massive mansion that's on sale, you know, for 68 million, and then you have something that's not developed that will take multiple years to get built for 65 million. Well, the level of land is not the same. So anyway, these are just pictures because again, we don't have a walkthrough video for this place. Enos didn't give us a tour. I mean, come on, Enos, bro. Come on, man, you're the man. See, this is specifically why I know if I do get into this, you know, space of giving home tours, in order to really give the audience, to give you guys, you know, the best of the best, I'm probably going to have to just stick within a certain niche, right? A niche. And, you know, that might just mean staying on the west side and not touring places in New York or touring places all over like these guys do. Like, they tour all over. They're not specific to one particular area. So there's going to be places that are amazing like this that we don't get a chance to see. Now, as far as why the agents don't give us a video, I will say this, it's I don't think it's because a video doesn't exist. It's because in order to maintain privacy in some of these places, the videos are only available to people that could afford these places, like qualified clients. Qualified buyers will only have access to the video, you know, because obviously the video can show multiple things that you can't get from pictures. Like pictures only can show, you know, the basics. Pictures are intended to just get you in the door. But if you're qualified in understanding that the people that have, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, the one thing that they don't have a lot of, considering they have all that money, is time. So they may not have time to look at the property themselves. They may have to send someone to go look at the property. And because of that, because they have someone going to go look at the property, they're going to also have time, you know, they also may not have time to look at the video. So you might have to send them the video first, and then they see the video, and then they're like, all right, then they send their person out, because time. That's the most valuable thing to all of us is time. And it's extremely like prevalent amongst those who have all of this money. Like this is the thing that they're willing to pay to subsidize their time, so they don't have to do some of these things. I love that wine cellar, by the way. This wine cellar is amazing. Hell yes. Very, very, very nice. Very nice touch. Like this feels like, you know, this is a compound, definitely a compound, but it's done in a very unique style that kind of feels simple in principles, like, you know, something that you would find in Japan. And you know, the wood tones and colors are also stuff that you kind of would see in Napa, but it's kind of like a clash between the two, right? Especially with that wine cellar. And yeah, some of this the stonework that's being used kind of, you know, like gives it that idea. But yeah, I mean, this is great. Like, this is a really good balance. The colors, I love the colors. I love the colors so much. I really like when the places that are being built, you know, like these type of houses that are being built that, you know, have some modernism to it, some, you know, it's kind of modern, that focus on different principles, especially with the color palette. And this just does it for me. This house does it for me. This is like, this is it. Like, if I were the guy, right, that you know, wanted to be in Beverly Hills, and, you know, there's still a good amount of privacy and stuff like that, I would definitely pick a house like this, 100%. So yeah, taking a quick brief look at the listing. You know, a little over 12,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 7 baths. You know, you got a lot of good stuff going on here. And, you know, just shy of an acre of land. So there is a very decent amount of land. And, you know, the house itself doesn't take up all of the land. You have this amazing pool built in 2015. I mean, this is just, the word that jumped out to me was tranquil. It's right, it's tranquil. Now, as far as reminiscent of Napa Valley, you know, serene beauty. Yeah, like I said, for me, it's more of a clash between, you know, some Japanese principles and, you know, some of the color and tonality of what you would find in Napa, right? But, you know, something like this big, grand, you know, door, this entranceway, you can't tell me that doesn't remind you of you know, a Japanese temple, right? You can't tell me that it doesn't remind you of a temple entrance. You just can't. So it looks grand, it looks amazing. Like, this is awesome. Like, this entryway and how it parts. Like, here we'll actually look at some better, you know, better, clearer photos. This is from the direct website, by the way. So if you are interested in this place, it does have its own website. And I mean, these pictures are amazing. But yeah, these sliding doors that open up, as you see, into your compound. And it, again, that kind of really feels like Japanese principles to me all the way. Like, this is a Japanese inspired aesthetic for you to walk through and get into the grounds instead of walking through and going inside of the property. Definitely has good feng shui as well. You don't see the pool, you don't see a view from this grand entranceway. So, I mean, this is like, man, a Japanese billionaire. I wouldn't be surprised if this sold to a Japanese billionaire, because the principles are there and you feel like it's your own temple. And then you start looking at the grounds and, you know, again, when you walk in, and this just feels like that. Obviously, you know, you got the Napa, I guess, you know, some of the color tones again in the woodwork that you would use in that type of aesthetic. But this feels more Japanese. Like, the principles of Japanese are more prevalent here to me. It's very beautiful, to say the least. All that's really missing is like the bonsai tree grounds, like from that one house that we looked at in, what was that? Well, it's in the Bay Area, but I'm trying to remember what city that was. But, you know, there's a house that was on Architectural Digest where the grounds, I mean, the landscaping architecture, it felt like something from Japan. Like, it felt real. It felt like it belonged in Japan. So really nice grounds there. I would definitely like to see something like that, bonsai trees and stuff like that. But yeah, no, this is great. I mean, I don't have anything really negative to say, obviously. Like, this is great. It's private. Like, this is gorgeous. And there's a tennis court. Wow. And you got that wine. Well, it's not really a wine cellar. It kind of actually looks like a wine cellar. Like, within the columns, that's definitely something that you would see in a wine cellar. Yeah, and this just feels right. This feels really good. I can't even lie to you. It feels amazing. So this is more of like a privacy compound. I don't think there really was any view, was there? Like, we didn't see one picture of a view. So this is more privacy than anything. Because obviously you would show off a view if you have it. So yeah, other than the not getting a view, I mean, this place is like tranquil. It is, if you want to get away from everything, this house delivers on that. And lastly, we go back to Trousdale Estates to look at a property that recently sold for I believe about 24 million and change. And I mean, this was the place that jumped out to me to begin with. This is one of the first places that I looked at. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, this is amazingly good. So as you can see, if we pause and just look for a second, like, all these places in Trousdale, single story, like massive single stories. Like, just insane. And then you have here, this looks like a older build or what have you. Here is, like I said, sometimes there's an exception. As far as what I know from building now, it all has to be single story. So this looks like one of those exceptions I was talking about, where it's going to be completely unique to Trousdale. And then right across from here, where you're seeing more two-story houses, this is Coldwater Canyon. So the same principle doesn't apply to Coldwater Canyon of single story. So you're going to see a lot of multi-story houses in Coldwater Canyon. But Trousdale, typically has the better views and, some more I guess, esteemed and regarded area, has a little more prestige than Coldwater Canyon, but they're both Beverly Hills. Like, I know I'm talking about like they're different, but they're both Beverly Hills, but they are different. But yeah, this is just beautiful. Like, just looking at that entryway, is that like a huge glass pivot door? Nice water feature. So it was on the market for $35 million, 6 beds, 9 baths, 1,500 square feet. I like that that wasn't backlit. Like, I like that the lighting was underneath and that backlit, like, and that lighting through the stone. I like that touch. And whatever the hell this is, that's cool. Nice, massive sized kitchen, very sleek and beautiful, open concept. My kind of concept. Look at these friggin' views. This is magnificent. Is there a side kitchen? Like, show me the coffee maker. Show it. Wolf appliances, wolf range, wolf oven. Show me. They're not. They don't want to show me. They're anti me. Man, those are some really nice views. And that's one of the cool things about, how they're being built now is they're being built in a way that people aren't necessarily going to block your view. Oh, whoops! Wow. So that whole thing, like I mentioned to you about how you can have like all this land, I'm sure enough of this still belongs to the lot, right? Like, this is all part of the property. Like, this is all still part of the property, but it's not buildable. And they didn't build out like a deck with caissons and stuff like that to kind of extend and give you more outdoor space. This is kind of the outdoor space. So not a lot of outdoor space here. So that's kind of one of the negatives of this house, is that the house is the, primary thing. I like that tub. It's a really nice stone tub. I really like these counters and the color of these counters. They're like nice and warm stones. Like this marble is just, I like it. It looks like it might be onyx. It's just no light. So I really like onyx. I just don't like that I don't feel it needs to be backlit. Like, it doesn't need to be, all of the onyx doesn't need to be backlit. Just because you put onyx in something doesn't mean you need to light it. Like, we gotta move on from that, because the onyx by itself is gorgeous. Here's your wellness center downstairs below, down a level, which is really nice. Really nice wellness center, gym. You got your steam room in the sauna. All that we're missing is the cold plunge. You have the wine area right here, your temperature regulated wine storage room. Very nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, I like to see how this atrium is placed. I like this is where I like it, where it's not overbearing. Yes, you have to do all this walking around, but look, it's even it's even situated by a room, and then you situated by different areas where you can just walk in and walk out. Like that I like, versus how the other design it went all the way up to the second floor and you can't walk between the space. That's what I mean by like a kind of like taking up space, like a waste of space. And obviously this is just a single story house. So, you know, you don't have to look into all of that. But yeah, this is crazy. Well, not single story, split level. I didn't mean to say split level house. Clearly this is a split level house. There's your theater. So that was 445 Walker. As you can see, the property was sold for just over $24 million. And I mean, that place was gorgeous. You know, like, I like the open concept to the kitchen. It was very, you know, well thought, simple kind of, you know, layout that really didn't go over the top. Had nice accents to you know, the modern aesthetics with the steel and the brick, kind of like little cascading brick or whatever kind of exterior finish you would call that. You know, it's definitely for me. Oh yeah, let's give medals. Let's give medals to these places. For me, this place deserves the bronze medal. This is the bronze medal. Definitely the bronze medal of the properties that we've seen today. It was very, very good, okay? And what it was very good at what it was, which was a very, like, nice modern, okay? Didn't really go over the top. Nice stone work inside of those bathrooms where, you know, the colors felt nice and warm there, opposed to what the kitchen felt like, which was a little more on the colder side, with your marble and, you know, your white marble and, you know, your like slate gray cabinetry, and, you know, just, it was a nice way to change up the tone and the pool. So, you know, this does get the bronze medal. How much land was here, by the way? How much land? Obviously, is, you know, they built what they could. So under half an acre. That's actually pretty good for under half an acre. So they built it well. They built it excellent. Josh and Matt Altman, they brought the buyer. Those guys are friggin' rock stars. I wonder if this house is going to be on $1 million listing. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But yeah, this was a great property. This was one of the first ones I started looking. I was like, oh man, look at this one right here. So bronze medal for this house. This house was a great house. Listed originally at $35 million. They got it for $24 million. This shows you a lot. I mean, people who have that kind of money, they're not trying to throw it away. They love what they love. Can love a house. You can love a house without overextending on price. Let me see how many times they reduced price. Okay, so they reduced price. Only 2 times. So from 35 to just about 30 million, and then from 30 million to 26.5. So 26.5 is how they got their offer. So, like, you know, more than likely, they saw this place already. It was on their list. They just thought 35 million was too much and they were too far apart to try to make a deal. And then when they came down, they felt like, hey, there's a deal there. So this is the bronze medal house. Now for the silver medal. I don't think this is any surprise, especially after I mentioned how safe I would feel after making friends with the current owner of this property, that I would give them the silver. Now, just because I'm going to make friends with you, owner of this fortress, just because I'm going to make friends with you does not mean that I'm just going to say, hey, your house is the best house that I've seen today. I'm not going to lie to you. That's how you know I'm a good friend, because I won't lie to you just for the sake of lying to you. I'm gonna keep it real with you, brother. our sister, or whatever it is that you wish to describe it as your pronoun. This is a silver medal, not because I felt like it looked amazing, because it's not for me. Not to say I don't like some of the stuff about it, because I do. I like concrete. I love that industrial feel. A little too much steel for me, but you take away some of the steel and you put in some stone in there, like a good remodel with some stone. I'm not even like, I wouldn't change none of the concrete. Like, I like concrete finishes. Like, I like exposed concrete. I like that. So this is a well-built house, which is the reason why we're giving it the silver medal. It's not because the place is silver, but it doesn't hurt. It already earned silver. This is already a silver medal house. It's a silver. It's silver. I mean, silver medal. This is a fortress. I would feel safe here, and that peace of mind. I'm sorry, that particular peace of mind is one of the reasons why I would even look at a house like this. Like, I would go look at this house if I were in the market for, and I had like $100 million budget or whatever. This is one of the houses I would see, just to kind of see every little nook and cranny of the house and find out where the bunker is and stuff like that. And I would definitely consider it, given the fact that I know I would fix the kitchen. But yeah, I really like this house. Now, what I will admit, trying to change things in this house will be a pain in the ass, because it's so well constructed. It is constructed so well that it would be a pain in the ass, right, to get rid of steel and concrete. It's not the same as taking out some drywall and then, getting down to the studs. It's not as easy as that. This is concrete and steel we're talking about. So removing stuff and trying to change things out would be far more expensive than trying to gut or do like move some things around in a normal house. But this house earned silver because it is the safest house that I think I've ever seen, especially in Beverly Hills. And it has a view. It has a really, really nice view, amazing views. So this is the winner of the silver medal. And for the gold medal, the best house that we've seen today, hands down, is the Japanese, that's what I'm calling it, the Japanese Napa Fusion House. I love this house. The only thing that it needs is a view and some bonsai trees, and it will be perfect. It will be perfect. I love the setup. I love the colors. This is the gold medal. You win gold medal today, Alpine Estate. You have won. I wish I had $60-something million or a client that could spend that, because I like this house. Now, obviously, $68 million with no view, it's kind of a stretch. I would advise that before you make a decision, how important is that to you? And if it's important, I would say, as much as I like the house, just wait for something else. And don't get me wrong, I'm telling you, this right here is one of my favorite design features that I've seen, where it again is like, it's like a temple, right? Like you enter in and you open, and instead of going into the home, you just enter the grounds of the home. I love that. So this part of the design, my favorite part of pretty much the entire house, is just that feeling. And I don't think I don't think you're gonna get that from any other place. Like this is so far from what I've seen, this is piece unique. Like this is a unique piece. So I love it. So, why is Beverly Hills so expensive? Well, again, going back to the concept of perception, okay? Out of all the cities that I at least know of, I think Beverly Hills has the most $100 million properties that I know of, okay? That I know of. There are other cities, obviously, New York, San Francisco, even in the, London. Like, you can go pretty much anywhere across the world and find cities with $100 million plus properties. That's all over. But speaking to Beverly Hills, like I mentioned, story of, the flats and how it became an elite area. You compound that with the Hollywood aspect of it all. And everybody wants what everybody can't have. So when these elite people have these particular things, other elite people also want those things. And when the demand outweighs the supply, that's just simple economics, and that's what drove the price up for Beverly Hills. People flock to Beverly Hills because obviously there's great weather here. Obviously, when they were building those houses in the flats, they weren't thinking about views. They were thinking about how things were coming along with Hollywood and, just everything in general. Obviously, you had Studio City. For those who don't know what Studio City is, look it up. Look it up. But it was a city that was once owned by Fox. And the reason why it's called Studio City is because the city used to be a studio. It used to just be a studio. So, you had things like that. Things like the proximity of all of these elite industries were around Beverly Hills. So it became the place to move to. It was the place to move to. And, unfortunately, the dark history of redlining in Beverly Hills kept people like myself out of the community, black. And it also kept Jewish people out of the community. And, there is just so many driving forces, okay, that made it an elitist type of area where it was a symbol of elitism. And that is why the values are why Beverly Hills in general is so expensive. And then from there, closer proximities, which include the Platinum Triangle, which is Bel Air, and also Homely Hills. Like, you started seeing these areas start to become developed because one thing with the elitists, they begin to value the privacy as well, which is one of the reasons why land in particular in Beverly Hills is much different than per se normal areas where you would get like a decent sized lot. You're not going to find a modest home, for example, in a neighborhood that most people live in, like myself, where if you can get a quarter of an acre of land, you have a lot, okay, of land. But typically, you might get an eighth, right? An eighth, maybe a sixth of an acre of land, and that's what you get. That's what you get. You're not going to get a third of an acre, right? You're not going to get a third of an acre in a typical area. And I live in an area where there's homes available for sale for $1 million plus. So this is one of those things where typical Beverly Hills, flats are the more expensive areas of Beverly Hills. You're going to find places that have third of an acre, quarter of an acre, right? an acre, 2 acres, a hectare, 2 hectares. And the more and more land that there is means there's the more and more privacy that there is, which is the more of a structure that can be built onto the property. And these things are the driving factors. Right now, it's simply just elitism. That's the reason why Beverly Hills is so expensive. It's just elitism. And it developed from those small things that I mentioned, from the speedway being a playground for the elite. So the flats being super close, it's there. As far as the compound effect with Hollywood and those who worked in Hollywood or worked in Studio City started flocking to these areas, and that is what did it. And the redlining and keeping certain people out is just there's a multitude of things that help drive the price up. And now the prices are driven on the fact that, especially with the flats and north of the flats, you get land and privacy, which is important, but you're also 5 to 10 minutes from everything. The best shopping, the best restaurants, the best of the best of the best. You're 5 to 10 minutes away from it. So that is the only reason why Beverly Hills is so damn expensive. Elitism, I'm talking currently. Elitism, it's a playground for the elites. And the proximity to all of the food and the shopping and stuff like that. Now, the higher you go up and the higher you go up into the hill, you get more privacy, you get further away from it, you get better views. But I want you to understand, the further you get up, the more time it takes to get to everything, which is why the flats are, just north of Sunset. When you start getting into Trousdale and all this other stuff, just north of Sunset, for example, where we're looking at Alpine, where you have a property that's just for sale for you to develop at 60 million, right? 65 million, meaning that once the place is built, it's going to be worth 100 to 200 million, or at least that's going to be the asking price. I can promise you that whenever it gets built, it's going to be priced at 100 to 200 million. It might be priced more high. I couldn't even tell you. But you're not, the one thing about having all that land right there is you're not going to have to over engineer, because a lot of that, just from looking at it, was flat. A lot of it was flat. So it was really good land. So I wouldn't be surprised that to see it eventually sell. But definitely going back to the fact that being right there on Alpine, just perfect example, you're still 5 to 10 minutes away from all those things I mentioned. The restaurants, the shopping, you're still 5 to 10 minutes away from everything, and you're around other elite people. So, and you have like extreme privacy, and you have views. So that's a very desirable area, by the way. That area right there, that's just outside of the flats, very desirable area, extremely desirable. So, Trousdale is also desirable, but like I mentioned, the further you get up into the hill, the more time it takes to get down. Now, considering that Trousdale, you can get to Trousdale, it's a lot different than Coldwater Canyon. Coldwater Canyon gets very busy. Your drive from Trousdale might be about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how high up you are up in the hill, back into everything. And that's not terrible. It's really not terrible. It's not as good as that 5 to 10 minutes that I mentioned, but it's really not terrible. And that's, kind of why, what drives the value, in some of these parts of Beverly Hills. So there's not a one-to-one exact science. Just know that particular part, Beverly Hills, that I mentioned, that's just north of Sunset, is one of the most expensive, especially, it gets higher and higher depending on how much land you get, because the land drives privacy, which is very desirable for the elite, because the elite, they want privacy. They want all the privacy they can get, and views. Views do matter. But yeah, that's why Beverly Hills is so damn expensive. So if you learned anything today, great. If you didn't learn anything, great. No, honestly, I just hope you have a great weekend. If anything, I just hope you have a great weekend. Actually, I hope you skipped the entire video. If you did skip the entire video, you just made it to this part where I told you that you should have a great weekend. We got the Olympics. The Olympics are back. The Olympics are like the best thing in the world. I love the Olympics. So we have the Olympics. I'm gonna go watch some Olympics. I'm gonna go watch some events, and hopefully, again, you guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.